Luke chapter 1 from verse 39. At that time Mary got ready and hurried to a town in the hill country of Judea, where she entered Zachariah's home and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby leapt in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. In a loud voice she exclaimed, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the child you will bear. But why am I so favored that the mother of my Lord should come to me? As soon as the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the baby in my womb leapt for joy. Blessed is she who has believed that what the Lord has said to her will be accomplished." So it's a really short passage, but I think it's quite an exciting one. There's probably not a lot, in a sense, for us to take away from it, but I think it's just exciting to read and hear the story. So as Mary goes to visit her cousin Elizabeth, who's carrying John the Baptist, when Elizabeth hears her greeting, the baby leapt in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. So we've got some next level Twilight Zone, Black Mirror kind of stuff happening there. Like, she hears the greeting and the baby leaps in her womb and the Holy Spirit fills Elizabeth. And maybe there's that sense of how the Holy Spirit is spoken about in the New Testament, where it's being filled with the Holy Spirit. So it's not like a once-off thing. It's just like there's this moment that Elizabeth is just filled with the Holy Spirit. And then as a prompting of being filled with the Holy Spirit, maybe that's where her response comes. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the child you will bear. And I think from these passages in Luke, probably a lot of the Catholic emphasis has come on Mary being blessed among women and being elevated and raised higher. And for me, I don't see that. I think for me, the significance is on God and what God is doing, and on the baby that's in her and Jesus that's about to happen. And it's because of that Mary, in a sense, is blessed. She's elevated. She's made significant in the story because of her connection and proximity to and with Jesus. I don't think she was any particularly special in and of herself. She was a person that was willing and obedient and a servant of God. But to claim that she was the most amazing, incredible woman that ever lived, I'm just not sure there's evidence for that. But I think that the story is still significant in itself. You've got this relationship between Elizabeth and Mary, and there's obvious love and joy between them. And so there's this family environment that Jesus gets born into, where Joseph has made movement as the father of this illegitimate child, or his wife got pregnant out of marriage, and so he decides to stick around. He decides to be a father to Jesus. You've got the cousins that are just so happy to see each other. They're so excited to hear what's going on in each other's lives. There's this beautiful family environment that Jesus is born into, despite the fact that he's going to be born into kind of political turmoil. They're going to have to flee when he's a baby because Herod's going to go around killing all the babies and stuff like that. So there's the sense of the depth of family, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's like an amazing thing we can take from this, just being excited about something amazing that happens for someone else. And then just the last thing that Elizabeth says, blessed is she who has believed that what the Lord has said to her will be accomplished. And maybe there's something there for us. Blessed are you when you believe that something God has said will be accomplished. So the first thing is, are you listening to what God is saying? Am I taking time to look in his word? Am I taking time to pray and listen to what God is saying in my life, for my neighborhood, for my family, for the country? And if I am doing that, then am I believing that what God has said will be accomplished? And I think those are some things we can take away from the story. How are we doing in terms of family? How are we doing in terms of being excited about things that God is doing in someone else's life? Does it make us jealous? Does it make us envious? Or do we celebrate with them? Do we say, that's amazing, that's fantastic, I love what God is doing in you? And then when God is telling us something, are we listening to it? And when we're hearing God tell us something, are we believing that it will be accomplished? Are we following through with it? Are we running with it and going, if God said it, then it's going to happen?